Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into the incredible evidence for evolution. And this is a story that's literally written in our bones, our DNA, and even in our earliest moments of life.
All right, let's just jump right in with a question that might sound kind of weird. Did you know that you once had a tail? Yep. Before you were born, back when you were just an embryo, you actually had a tail. So that's not just some random fun fact, right? It's a really important clue. It points to one of the biggest ideas in all of science, the idea that all life on this planet is connected. And what this theory basically says is this: every single living thing on Earth, from the tiniest little bacterium all the way up to a giant blue whale, we're all related. We're all part of one enormous, sprawling family tree that goes back to a single common ancestor way, way back in the past. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. That little embryonic tail, it's something we share with the embryos of chickens and turtles and mice. And check this out. We also have these things called pharyngeal arches, which look a lot like the structures that become gills in fish embryos. Now in fish, they turn into gills, obviously. But in us, they develop into parts of our ears and our jaw. See? It's like we're all working from a shared blueprint, with these little hints of a deep, ancient history written right into our development. So to really see how scientists piece this all together, let's follow the evidence. We're going to look at one of the most amazing transformations in the entire animal kingdom, the story of how whales went from walking on land to ruling the oceans. Okay, so you look at a whale and you probably think giant fish, right? It makes sense. But when you start to look a little closer, the biology tells a completely different story. For starters, whales are mammals, just like you and me. Think about it. They breathe air with lungs, right? That blowhole is basically a nose on top of their head. They give live birth, they feed their babies milk, they're warm-blooded, some of them even have hair. None of those are fish traits. Those are 100% classic mammal features. But the connection gets even more wild when you look deeper. Literally, down to the bone. Because one of the biggest clues is hiding right inside their flippers. Just look at this comparison. Inside a whale's flipper, you find the exact same bone structure as a human arm or a bat's wing. You've got one upper arm bone, 2 forearm bones, a bunch of wrist bones, and then 5 finger bones. It's incredible. This pattern, it's called a pentadactyl limb, shows up all over the place. It's the same basic kit of parts, just tweaked and modified for totally different jobs, like grasping or flying or swimming. And there's a name for this. Scientists call them homologous structures. And they are just fantastic evidence that we all share a common ancestor. It's like we inherited the same basic body plan, and it's just been adapted and reshaped over millions of years for all these different lifestyles. Okay, so we have the anatomy. Now let's look at the fossil record, because this is where we get these incredible snapshots in time that show us the whale's journey from land back into the water. And the fossils, wow. They tell such a clear story. We found things like Myocetus, the walking whale, from about 47 million years ago. Its skeleton shows it had legs strong enough to walk on land. Then, a few million years later, you get Basilosaurus. It's fully aquatic, but get this, it still had tiny little hind legs and feet. You can even see how its nostrils were slowly migrating from the front of its snout towards the top of its head, well on their way to becoming the blowhole we know today. Fossils like these are called transitional fossils, and they're amazing. They're literally the in-between stages. They capture evolution in the act, showing us exactly how you get from an ancient ancestor to a modern descendant. And then there's the final piece of the puzzle, the DNA. This is where it all clicks into place. Genetic analysis confirms this whole land-to-sea story by linking whales to their closest living relative. And you might want to sit down for this one. It's the hippopotamus. Yeah, the hippo. Turns out they both evolved from the same 4-legged ancestor that lived more than 50 million years ago. Now, this whole story about the whale, it's not some weird, isolated case. This exact same pattern of evidence, looking at anatomy, embryos, fossils, and DNA, it shows up all over the tree of life. You see the same pattern of shared ancestry again and again and again. Take a look at Archaeopteryx. This is probably the most famous transitional fossil ever. It's the perfect mix of a reptile and a bird. It had feathers and a wishbone just like a modern bird, but it also had teeth, claws, and a long bony tail just like its reptilian ancestors. It's the smoking gun that connects birds directly back to dinosaurs. And that brings the story right back home to us. Our own DNA tells the same story. I mean, look at this chart. We share something like 98% of our genes with chimpanzees, who are our closest living relatives. But it doesn't stop there. We share about 75% with a chicken, and believe it or not, about 60% of our genes are shared with a common fruit fly. It's like our DNA is a history book, a living record of all that shared ancestry. So here's what's really powerful about all this. It's not just one thing. You have all these different independent lines of scientific evidence, and they all point to the exact same conclusion. It's not one clue, it's a whole bunch of them, and they all weave together to paint this one huge, consistent picture.
Let's recap, right? You've got comparative anatomy, which shows us the shared blueprints. You have embryology, which shows us these little echoes of our distant ancestors. You've got the fossil record, giving us those amazing snapshots of history in action. And finally, you have genetics, which gives us the cold, hard molecular proof. These are like the 4 pillars of evidence, and they are all supporting the same incredible idea.
And that is why evolution is considered such a solid scientific theory. You know, in science, a theory isn't just a guess or a hunch. It's a huge, powerful explanation that's been built up over decades of research and has been tested and confirmed by mountains of evidence from every corner of biology. So, where does that leave us? Well, with a final thought. This story of life is far from finished. It's being updated all the time. Right now, paleontologists are out there digging up new fossils, and geneticists are decoding more and more genomes. The pile of evidence just keeps getting bigger, which kind of makes you wonder, right? What new, incredible evolutionary story, hidden away in some ancient bone or a strand of DNA, are we going to discover next?